Howdy! Hey, I hope this is working. Oh, it's been giving me fits today. Hey, this is Tom the Beer Whisperer. I did a few videos over the weekend. I lost all 6 of them somehow. I don't know what's going on, but no, he's crying over drunk beer. I got the effects from I just didn't get the video. Anyway, I digress. Hey, let me finish pouring here. I start pouring. This is my second look at this Floral IPA from Beer Camp. Why do it twice? Why not, I say. Well, because I'm not really doing a straight-ahead beer review. We're talking about other things. But I wanted to drink another one with you to see if my opinion was still the same on it. The bottle listed at 5.9%. Let me read you a touch from their website. See if I can find it here. Oh, there it is. Okay. The website refers to, there's a number on here, number 53, which is how I'm able to find it on their website. Listed as long stem IPA, which is probably what the brewer, or the guy that had the recipe, called it. It's Beer Camp. It's their version of basically a long shot. But anyway, calls it long stem IPA and listed as 5.6 ABV. Here it's listed as 5.9, which is odd because the others that I've drank, all the ABVs were listed as higher than what it ended up to be. Or, lower than it ended up to be. This is only one that's higher. It listed as 54 IBUs. It says color is red. I don't know if I'd call that a red. It's more amberish to me, but hey, call it whatever you want. It says the bittering hops are Citra. The aroma hops are Centennial and Crystal. And I said in the other one that I am a fan of the Crystal hop. And the Torpedo hops are Centennial, Sapphire, and Rose Petals. The malts are Golden Promise, Caramel, Special B, and Chocolate. And they use an ale yeast and they add rose hips. Very interesting. I fully expected to hate this. Because I'm just not a fan of crazy adjuncts. I'm just not. You do smell the roses in there, though. I mean, you ever smell rose water? You ever cook with rose water? Do any Greek cooking use rose water? Well, I have. Anyway, that's what it smells like to me. If you ever use rose water, you know what I'm talking about. I smell rose water. Oh. And you taste it in there, but you also taste the other stuff. I just find it odd. I really thought I was going to hate this. There's another beer I had earlier on the season. Forehand single speed session that used, what did they use? I can't remember now. Some sort of flour in there too. And I can't remember what they used. And I thought I was going to hate it, and I loved it. I was really shocked. This is one that's going to take you by surprise too. I'm not sure if this is a beer that I want to buy a 6-pack of, but I applaud the creativity. I really do. Again, I'm not a fan of crazy adjuncts. I think a lot of younger brewers, especially a lot of younger home brewers, they're trying to get into the brewing business. I think every beer, everything they brew has to have something else in it. You know, they don't brew anything. I was part of a beer group that had this kid in it, and he was very proud of all of his craft beer recipes. But everything he posted had several adjuncts in it. I mean, several. I mean, it wasn't just one or two, and it wasn't just one or two beers. I mean, it was everything he did. He never did a real beer that was, that's a barley malt, hops, water, and yeast. He didn't understand that you didn't. It's how you blend those things that's important. You don't need to add 100 different ingredients to be a craft beer. But a lot of people are doing that these days, which is probably how we ended up with this beer, this Floral IPA. Which is probably a reason why I'd never buy a 6-pack of it, because it's just not my thing. But the truth is, it's enjoyable. And if this, if I was able to buy the mix pack again, I'd probably buy it and drink it in a mix pack. But I wouldn't want a 6-pack of it. It's probably the only one of the 4 beers that were in that beer camp mix that I wouldn't buy a 6-pack of. That I wouldn't buy just by itself. The Pilsner, although it's they call it Imperial Pilsner, it is not. But if I'm able to psych myself out and pretend it doesn't say Imperial, that I'm just drinking a Pilsner, it's a very fine Pilsner. And if they were to bottle it as just a Pilsner, they've got a winner because it's as good as anything on the market and better than most. The Imperial Red was mighty fine. I've only drank 1 bottle of it, so I'm curious to try another one. But very malty, very hoppy, and I really love the style. The Oatmeal Stout I drank 1 of, and I'm not going to have another one until my weather really drops out here. Because I did like it, but I think I'm going to like it more when we get down to under 50 degrees here. Because it was that kind of beer. It was just big and warming, made you feel good all over. So, if I'm being honest, I'd have to say this is probably my least favorite, but it's certainly not a bad beer by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, I was surprised that I did like it as much as I did, to be honest with you. Ooh. Oh, excuse me, but it is giving me a little gas. Oh, yeah, baby. Wow. What can I say? It's good. It's solid. I like the breweries that do that. Like Sam Adams does a long shot. I like that they do that. I really do. I think it's a great. Sometimes I question the beers at one, thinking, "What the really?" but yeah, because I drink the styles, I'm thinking, "Really, this was really the best." But you know, the taste is pretty subjective, and everybody's looking for something different. Oh, right now IPAs are very big. Double IPAs are are the trend in the beer world. Sour seem to be real popular with a lot of craft beer drinkers. I'm not a fan of the sour at all, and there's very few beer styles I don't like. I just don't dig the sour at all. I don't get it. It does not work for me. Anyway, but this is fine. I still don't see red in there, but hey, I'm a little colorblind, so I don't know. It's not deep enough for me. The beers that call themselves red, I expect them to really be deep red. This one isn't there. Mm. Yeah, it finishes nicely. You get this, like I said, at first I taste rose water, but then at the end I get this nice little hot burst, and then I get the roses again. It's a very weird beer. I'm kind of my mind is like arguing with itself about if it likes this or not. But again, I do like it more than I thought I would, and I do applaud the brewer for creativity. What the hell? You never know unless you try, right? It does seem to me, though, that a lot of younger brewers, especially, seem to think that everything has to have some kind of adjunct in it to be different. Well, I'm making an IPA, but to be mine, I have to add something that's not, And you don't. You need to change up the malts, change up the hops. There's just millions of different combinations. You don't have to go adjunct crazy to make a very good creative beer. But it's hard to convince folks of that. A lot of people just have their mind made up that they have to add these crazy ass ingredients, and you just don't need to, man. Then again, hi, I'm Tom Brewer. You're drinking with a beer whisperer. How about that? No, well, I'm a bit of a purist, in everything I do. Uh, I gotta enjoy the simple things, I guess. I'm not about adding a whole lot to anything. I even joke about my religion. That I like my religion like my whiskey, straight with no chaser. I'm not. It's real popular again amongst younger folks that go to church. They like the big mega churches with 1 million people out there. Where they have a band playing and You know, they sing songs for an hour, then do the service, and you're there for 3-4 hours. You know, pack a lunch, make a day out of it. You know, I'm not that way. You know, the Episcopal service, many of them, which I tend to go to. The first service in most Episcopal churches is just spoken with no music whatsoever, and it lasts about 50 minutes to an hour generally. You know, you go boom, you're right there. They give you the message, there you go. So that's kind of my thing. You know, I'm a straight, no chaser kind of guy. I like my religion just like my whiskey, straight with no chaser. I'm not a big fanfare guy in anything I do. So as you can tell by my videos, you know, because I don't do any tricks, I don't add editing later. You know, I throw it out. I do it on a webcam, and you know, I don't put any fancy graphics in there because it's not me. I'm not a fancy guy. I want to do things how I do them. Like many IPAs, you'll want to start with a chill, but because I always like to start with a chill, but this one really does open up as it warms up, especially that rose going on. You know, sometimes when you drink a beer like this that has something added to it, like the roses, for instance, sometimes you taste it at first. By the time you're halfway through, you're thinking, "Oh my gosh! I mean, this is getting seriously cloying. I just can't take it anymore." This was kind of, and that's how I expected it to taste like for me, but it didn't. I get about halfway through, it actually becomes more enjoyable. Once it really opens up, it really becomes a better beer. So it's one of those pleasant surprises for me. And there we go. So you followed me from start to finish. We drank a nice beer. All is good, baby. Hey, let me show you the bar one last time. Sam Adams. Sorry about that, Sierra Nevada. Sierra Nevada Beer Camp. Woo, cut me off. Sierra Nevada Beer Camp. Number 53, the Floral IPA. How about that? Hey, try it if you can find it. It is certainly worth a look.